In this video we're going to be looking at fractional indices. So fractional indices, aka rational indices. So this basically means when the index of a number is irrational, so it's a fraction. So what would we do in this case? What would y to the power of 1/2 be the equivalent to? Well, let's say we were to square the entirety of y to the power of 1/2. We know using the third law of indices that we're going to multiply these numbers. So it's going to be y to the power of 1/2 times 2, which is y over 2 over 2, which you'll get y. So the question is, what would we have to square to get y? Have a think about that. It is indeed the square root of y. Now think about this. If we were to square both y to the power of 1/2 and the square root of y, we're going to get y back. So this shows us that y to the power of 1/2 is the square root of y. And just for those who aren't quite sure that this is the case, we could also rewrite it in this term here. When it's the square root, we usually omit the 2, so the root. But we could also write it this way, where the denominator here goes at the top of this part of the radical sign. Similarly, x to the power of 1 over 3 is the same as the cube root of x. 125 to the power of 1/3 is the cube root of 125. 1000 to the power of 1 over 5 is the 5th root of 1000. So this brings us to the 7th law of indices, which states that a to the power of m divided by n is the nth root of a raised to the power of m. It's a bit of a mouthful to say that one, so it takes a bit of time and practice to get this one. A lot of the time you might forget which of these two go here and which of these two go here. So the denominator is the nth, we call the nth root, and the number at the top, so the numerator, is what everything is being raised to the power of. So let's do some examples with this. Okay, let's go for the first one. Y to the power of 2/3. Well, here we're going to have the cube root of y raised to the power of 2. And it'll look like this. So we got the cube root of y all raised to the power of 2. 125 to the power of 3 over 2. Well, this is going to be the square root of 125 all to the power of 3, like this. Now again, I could have written this, I don't have to put the 2 there because that is just the same thing as saying the square root, don't forget. But it's important to remember that we have to put the brackets around because all of that is being cubed.